everybody. I'm Richard Osman, and welcome along to House of Games Night. Now, normally we're on BBC Two at 6 o'clock. There are a few changes for this. We're on BBC One. It's exciting. We have a band. Just played the music live. Lovely to see you. Led by David O'Doherty.
It's a pleasure to be here.
The finest musician amongst them, I suspect, David. He doesn't like to say it himself, but yeah, of course he is. We also have an audience. Hello, audience. There are 7 of them, 7 people enjoying themselves. But a lot of things are staying the same. Every time I press this buzzer, a new game comes up. I never know what it's going to be. My players don't know what it's going to be either. At the end of our 3 shows, somebody walks away with this trophy. Shall we meet our 4 players here? They are Ed Gamble, Sindhu V, Sian Gibson, and Dara O'Brien. Hello, everyone. Ed, hello.
Hello.
Now, you're a former champion of the BBC Two 6 o'clock one.
I am,
Are you
yes.
not? How are you feeling about your competition for this series?
I'm slightly worried about this competition, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like we've got some good competitors amongst them.
You're such a liar. You don't think that?
I'm going to thrash them.
Yeah, of course you are. Sindhu, quite competitive?
I'm very competitive, and it bothers me that Ed's on this because he's won so many before, and I think Dara will know a lot of answers too. So I'm just, yeah, I'm ready.
Poor Sian.
No, Sean and I have had a discussion. Yeah. Sean and I have had a discussion.
Sean, you're being overlooked, I think.
No.
No.
You know, yeah, we have an understanding.
And what is
We
that
have a code.
understanding?
I'm not going to tell you.
That's part of the game.
It's part of the game.
This is very divisive from very early. Sean, lovely to have you on House of
Thank
Games for the
you.
first time. We're playing 3 shows together, and at the end of those 3 shows, somebody is walking away with a trophy. But at the end of each show, there are also daily prizes. Would you like to take a look at what you could win today?
That's why I'm here.
Oh, excellent. Good to hear it. You can choose one of these. If you win, there's the House of Games smoking jacket, carriage clock, there's a sewing machine.
Wow.
That's new. And a beer keg. What do you think you would like, Sean, if you were to win today?
I'll go for the carriage clock.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Carriage clock.
that's what I'm going for today.
Lovely. Dara, welcome along. What prize would you go for, do you think?
Which is the smallest and easily put away? I think the carriage clock as well, because that robe looks as if it on me would just graze, would just rest just at the right depth.
It is a lovely image, Dara.
Thank you.
Shall we get on and play?
Yeah. Yes.
Our very first round on House of Games Night is... Is there a doctor in the House of Games? I'm going to ask each of you a question. You will not know the answer to that question. The good news for you, though, is that somebody in our hand-selected audience will know the answer. So all you've got to do is work out who will know the answer. Ed, here's your question you will not know the answer to, but somebody in our audience will. What was the title of the first ever episode of Teletubbies?
Oh,
Now,
imagine if I did know that, though.
that really would ruin the format. Somebody in our audience played Dipsy.
Oh,
Very first
goodness.
episode. So Dipsy from the Teletubbies is in our audience. So Dipsy will know the answer.
Well, now I'm feeling competitive and starstruck.
That's a bad combination.
I'm going to sort of wander over and see what Dipsy vibes I can pick up.
Oh, my God.
Dipsy
Dipsy's
vibes.
in the audience?
Dipsy is in
That's
the audience.
incredible to me.
The original Teletubbies was much grittier. There was a murder in the first episode. It was very dark.
I'm going to throw out some terms and see who reacts. No. Tubby toast. Who wants some tubby toast? Was Dipsy a man or a lady? This is what we've got to work out, because I think they were played by men and women. OK, I think I've made my decision.
OK, who would you like to answer it?
This lady here.
So, what was the title of the first ever episode of Teletubbies?
I'm sorry, I have no idea.
No idea. Unlucky.
Hang on,
Anyone
was that
else?
the title? Can we check to see if
Anyone else want to buzz in and pick a person?
Oh.
Sean.
I'm overexcited. It's my first time.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the gentleman with the cap on the high stool.
OK, gentleman with the cap. I'm going to ask you a question. What was the title of the first ever episode of Teletubbies?
The first episode of Teletubbies was entitled Ned's Bicycle.
Is the correct answer. Well played, Sean. You chose John Simmet. John, you were Dipsy.
Guilty.
Wow. How
Wow.
about that's the great gig, isn't it? Is it heavy being Dipsy?
Yeah, 3.5 stone of sweat and secret swearing, you know.
Wow. That's ruined everybody's childhood. Thank you, John. Thank you so much. Everybody, John Simmett.
Yay.
Gypsy. A point to Sian there. Sindhu, your question you won't know the answer to now. Holders of which country's passport have visa-free access to more destinations than any other? Now, someone here will know the answer because somebody here was the first person ever to travel to every country in the world without flying.
What?
Yeah.
That Teletubbies tour went to a lot of countries, didn't it?
It could be.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not John again. What if John was the answer to every single question?
And he travelled on Ned's bicycle.
Okay, so there's a lady in the front with, I think, leopard print shoes.
I'm going to ask you this question. Holders of which country's passport have visa-free access to more destinations than any other?
I'm so sorry. I don't know.
That doesn't
No
matter.
idea,
Great shoes,
I'm
though.
afraid.
Great shoes.
Anyone else?
Am I allowed? Am I allowed to come in?
Dara.
The guy is literally wearing a shirt that has luggage patches on it, as if he's gathered these around his journeys. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go to you as
You're gonna
someone
go with that?
who's-
OK. Holders of which country's passport have visa-free access to more destinations than any other?
It's Japan.
Oh, nearly.
Japan is the answer.
I
Congratulations.
picked a partner.
Well played, Dara. Graham, 217 countries.
And territories, yeah.
Is that right? Where did and
Amazing.
territories, of course. Where did you start?
Starts in Uruguay.
Any Uruguayan music band?
I got it.
Lovely.
There we go.
Beautiful. And what was the final territory or country you visited?
Well, I went to South Sudan.
Any South Sudanese music?
It's a bit faster than Uruguay.
Excellent. Graham, everybody.
That's
And a
great.
point to Dara. Well played. Sian, I've got a question you will not know the answer to.
OK.
But somebody will. What is the name of the crater in which the Mars Curiosity rover landed in August 2012? We have with us the principal systems engineer on the joint NASA and European Space Agency Mars rover project.
It's great to be here, guys.
Wow, you can play Uruguayan music and you can invent those space. Amazing, amazing. So who here looks like a
I've got
space
this covered
scientist?
already.
Oh, have you?
Our lady, grey jeans, casually posing. It's not me.
Ah, Dipsy.
Dipsy. Is it you?
What is the name of the crater in which the Mars Curiosity rover landed in August 2012?
I don't know.
Oh, you looked so confident, but trying to be casual about it.
Sorry.
Anybody else?
Oh.
That is Sindhu.
Person here with the hands like this and the legs out.
What is the name of the crater, please, in which the Mars Curiosity rover landed in August 2012?
I'm afraid I don't know.
No idea. Unlucky. Gents. Ed.
The lady that man's with.
What is the name of the crater in which the Mars Curiosity rover landed in August 2012?
It is the Gale crater.
Ed. And it's Abby Hutty. Abby, what was your role with the Mars Curiosity rover?
Well done.
I'm a systems engineer, not on the Curiosity rover, on the new upcoming Sample Fetch rover, which is part of the Mars Sample Return programme.
Whoa. Imagine if I understood that well enough to have a follow-up question. Dara, final question
Yes,
for this
cool.
round. A question you will not know the answer to, but somebody here will. In which month and year was the world's first so-called test tube baby born, please? I'll tell you who will know the answer. The world's first test tube baby who is with us.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who would be the right age to be the first test tube baby? I think the lady behind the travelling table, that young lady there, will know by just telling us the date of her birth.
OK.
I'm sorry, I have no idea.
Oh, unlucky Dara. Anyone else? Cindy, you want to get a wrong answer? No. Ed?
The lady sat in the second row there, behind the Mars lady, wearing the white top.
OK. If you'll stand up, please.
Yes.
In which month and year was the world's first so-called test tube baby born?
It was July 1978.
And Louise Brown, the first test tube baby, is with us. Louise, can you tell us what your middle name is as well?
Joy.
Because the people who did it, they knew the joy that technique would bring to so many families since then, and it has indeed. Louise Brown, thank you so much for coming and joining us, and congratulations, a point to Ed. Very nicely done. That's the end of that round. Thank you so much, audience. What a classy audience we've got.
Yeah.
Now I'm really interested in the table of losers who do nothing, who've
Why
done
are you
nothing with
here?
their lives. And have nothing to say.
Let's take a look at our first scoreboard, shall we? Sindhu yet to get off the mark. Sian and Dara, you have 1 point each. Our early leader is Ed Gamble with 2. Well played, Ed. Our next round is... I've got the historical blues. Now, this is a round led by Mr. David O'Doherty and the wonderful band. David has got the blues about some events from history. OK? But what events from history are vexing David? Ed, we will start with you.
OK.
Oh. I just went to buzz.
Were you buzzing in?
Well, yeah.
What was going to be your answer?
Titanic.
It's true. Sometimes I just wake up in the middle of the night. I'm just like, oh, that iceberg, that iceberg.
Wow. Ed, we will start with you.
Great.
OK, David is going to sing you a blues song. Ed, what blues does David have?
Myself and the amazing Wendy will be bluesing it up for you from a historical perspective. I woke up this morning. It was 1815. Got one last battle with that Napoleon fiend. So I went over to Belgium. I joined up with a Prussian.
He tells me this French army needs a Prussian. I got the blues, yeah.
Ed, he's got the blues, but what blues does he have?
A battle. I think it's a battle. The Battle of Trafalgar.
Is the incorrect answer, I'm afraid. Anyone else? Sindhu.
Waterloo.
Is it the Battle of
Oh,
Waterloo
of course,
Blues?
the other one.
The Battle of Waterloo Blues, yeah.
The right answer. Very, very well played, Sindhu. And Sindhu, it's now your turn. David is now vexed by something else from history.
Take me in, band. Once again, I woke up this morning. This time it was 1773. I get my beverage from England, but it isn't tax-free. Here in Massachusetts, that makes us feel frantic.
So we upped up and we held that beverage into the Atlantic. I got the blues, yeah.
Sindhu, what blues do David and Wendy have?
When they threw all the tea into the water outside Boston.
It's the Boston Tea Party blues,
Exactly,
perhaps.
Boston Tea Party.
The Boston Tea Party blues.
It's the right answer, Sindhu. Well done. Sian, David has some more blues, but what blues does he have now?
Big one, band. I woke up this morning, 1666, on Old Puddin' Lane. That's where the flames first licked. Tom Bloodworth, he was the mayor in the locality at the time. Back to bed, he did Breeze.
And no Mr. Pepys said a prayer as he buried his cheese. I got the blues.
So what blues does David have, Sian?
Titanic. No. I feel like everyone should know this, so I got this wrong. It would be embarrassing, but is it Great Fire of London?
The Great Fire of London blues.
Certainly is. Well done, Sian. Now, David.
Yes.
Wonderful, though, I find your vibe.
Thank you.
And voice.
Thank you. Yes.
I wonder, given we have one of Britain's premier vocalists, Wendy, with us, if Wendy might have the blues this time. Would that be acceptable?
How does it feel, David, when you do your bit of singing and then Wendy starts singing?
So, Dara, Wendy has the blues.
Brilliant.
But
Lovely.
what blues does Wendy have?
I mean, Wendy's blues are, why am I playing second fiddle to that guy?
Woke up this morning,
why
was
am I
standing next to David O'Doherty. Let's find out. Quite apart from that, she's also vexed about an historical event, but which one?
Woke up this morning, 12:15. I'm the king king of all you peasants. Isabella's my queen. A bunch of dumb barons want me to seal some screed. They're demanding some human rights in a place called Running Mead. I got the blues, oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to David,
Wow,
but come
that
on,
was very
everybody.
good. Wow.
Dara, what blues does Wendy have?
If I could answer in the style of Sindhu, there was like a carta, and it was... and I don't know how you describe the carta. A carta that was Magna.
So a Carta
and
that
there
was Magna, we think.
Yeah.
That's possible. OK, let's find out. Is a Carta that was Magna the correct answer?
Magna Carta blues,
Well played. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, band. Beautifully done. That is the end of that round. Lovely way to finish it. Let's take a look at what it has done to the scores.
Ooh.
How about that? Everybody has got 2 points each. 3 rounds to go. Level pegging so far. Next round is... Artifacts. This is a pairs game. The player in last place on a pairs game on this show gets to choose their partner. At the moment, you are all last, but all in first place as well. Sindhu, who would you like to play this round with?
I would like to play this round with Dara.
Ah, Sindhu and Dara are going to be a team. So, Sindhu and Sian, if you'll swap places, please.
Okay.
Sian and Ed are a team. Sindhu and Dara are a team. Before the show, you did a little bit of homework. I asked you to do an art project.
Oh, no.
OK, the first thing you had to do was represent some films. Ed, before the show, Sian had to represent a film for you. And Sian was allowed to use the medium of the craft box. We asked her to use the items for the craft
think you'll
box
get this.
to give you a clue
Okay.
to a film. But which film is this?
Oh, that doesn't look as good as it did in my head.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my good God.
Wow.
I can only apologise.
I mean, it's got dragon vibes, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
From the noise Sian just made there, I would, suggest it's definitely not a dragon.
Which, of course, is
Can I
she's not allowed to.
explain something?
Oh,
Am I
Sian, you
allowed?
can't. I'm afraid. I'm afraid your work here is very much done.
I mean, it's some sort of creature, and it really looks like it's breathing fire. I'm just going to have to go with my first thought, even though I think it's wrong. I'm going to go with Lord of the Rings.
What? Is it Lord of the Rings?
No, it's not.
It is not. We can pass it across if you want to have a guess, Sindhu and Dara. Are you going to have a guess?
Is it Finding Nemo?
Is it Finding Nemo, Sian?
Because, I mean,
No.
that's not like
OK.
Nemo, but
So,
the eyes
Sian,
are.
why don't you talk us through your piece of work and tell us what the answer is?
Well, I don't think the photograph is getting the full effect that it's actually sticking out of something.
Oh.
And the red...
Oh, it's Alien.
Yeah.
Alien is the answer. Very well done if you said Alien at home.
How did you let me go with Finding
confident on
Nemo
that.
when you knew it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean,
I see that. Dara, before the show, Sindhu had to represent the film. She was asked to use the medium of plasticine. Here is your film.
it's quite a swimming stroke she's doing there, isn't it? Like, she's really shot out of the water in this situation now. And then a boat is approaching her from, like I said, it's a Das Boot. It's the iconic poster for Jaws.
Jaws, absolutely right. Well played, Dara. Point to Sindhu and Dara. Sian, before the show, Ed had to represent a film. He was allowed to use the medium of finger painting.
Oh,
OK? So which film is this, please?
Well, that could be a few things.
It's not just a car, obviously.
Whoa, whoa.
Well, it's not. She can see that.
Is it The Fast and the Furious?
Is it The Fast and the Furious?
Obviously not.
Oh, it's not The Fast and the Furious. What is it? OK, any guesses on the other team?
I'm presuming that's a timer of some sort, or a clock, or a watch. Is it Gone in 60 Seconds?
No, I'm glad it was bad now.
Wow, is it Speed?
No.
Oh,
I was gonna
OK.
say that.
That's a very fast car with it's left a trail of flames. The clock represents the nature of time. It's Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. Actually, that's very good.
No, it's not, obviously.
Cindy, before the show, Dara had to represent a film for you. He was allowed to use the medium of collage. But which film is this, please?
Wow.
Whoa, that's very
That's
beautiful.
very good.
Sindhu, there was a very popular film in Ireland called Giant Tower of Urine.
I can't believe you're not getting this.
Is it The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Is it The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Wow.
It is not The Lion, the Witch, and the
Oh,
Wardrobe.
interesting.
I think
Ed and
I think
Sian.
we're...
Do you want to?
Yeah.
I'm really hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
Wizard of
Dara,
Oz.
please.
Wizard of Oz?
It is totally The Wizard
Oh,
of Oz.
Was that
well
your other one?
played, The Wizard of Oz.
They're on a yellow brick road to the Emerald City, not
get it,
a
okay.
river of urine, as you put it.
I thought it was Close Encounters.
At least I was in the realm.
I thought that was the light coming down from the spaceship.
Why would the light curve around? It's a
Oh,
path going
no.
off.
Science.
Right?
You've prodded the science nerd.
Yeah.
Why does light curve?
Interesting you think that light would curve around.
Preposterous.
But also, it's the perspective of the path disappearing off into the...
It is beautiful.
Thank
It is
you.
wonderful, and it's entirely my fault. Next, we asked you to create some landmarks.
You'll get this.
You said that last time, Sian.
Sian had to create a landmark, and this time she was using plasticine. So which landmark is this?
I'm very confident. I mean, come on.
This.
I mean, it looks like it could be like a mountain range. No, of course it's not a mountain range. I think it's the pyramids.
The pyramid, Sian? Is the right answer. Well
The
done.
pyramids, not Stonehenge, which is square.
It's amazing I got those, bearing in mind you've not done them pyramid shaped.
Well,
yeah,
the
no, it's
famous
good.
cones of Egypt.
Dara, before the
Okay.
show, Sindhu had to represent a landmark, and she used the craft box. Which landmark is this?
Ay, ay, ay.
There is a lot going on there. It's clearly Prince, clearly one of his guitars, or it could be a torch, in which case I think that is the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, Statue of Liberty,
Yeah.
Sindhu?
Yes!
Well
Wow,
played,
that's
Dara.
really good.
Nicely done. Beautiful. Sian, before the show, Ed had to represent a landmark, and he was using collage this time. But which landmark? Whoa.
Oh!
Wow. That is absolutely terrifying.
Ask the guy who's been everywhere if he's ever visited whatever this place is.
The guy's been everywhere, so going, hold on, there's another country I haven't been to.
Yeah.
This is-
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I completely ran out of time. And also, it started badly.
Is it Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore? Yay! Well done. Sindhu, the final question in this round. A landmark designed by Mr. Dara O'Brien using pasta art. Which landmark is this, please? Wow. OK.
And can we see after he did the art?
I mean, it does just look like some pasta.
Yes, it really does.
Does
It really
look like
does.
some pasta. Shall I just say what first came to my mind?
Please do.
Great Wall of China.
No,
Don't
it's
say
not
that.
the Great Wall of it's not the Great Wall of China.
Please don't say that.
Anybody on the other team, Ed and Sian, you want to have a go?
Penne for your thoughts.
Oh!
Ah, dear.
Sydney Opera House.
Look, I wanted bigger pasta, but it is actually, thank you very much,
played,
Sydney
Sian,
Opera House.
Sydney
It is.
Opera House. Point to Sian and Ed. That's the end of that round. So, Sian and Sindhu, if you'll swap back places, please. So let's take a look at our leaderboard going into our final round. It's very, very close. Everybody is still in this. Sindhu and Dara, you have 4 points each. Sian and Ed, 6 points each. Who is going to be our first champion? We're going to find out with a game of Answer Smash. Fingers on buzzers, please. A point for a correct answer. Don't forget there is a point off for an incorrect answer. Your first category is people who had a big 2020. You'll see a clue, you will see a picture underneath. Please smash them together and very best of luck. What type of sandwich has a filling of ground beef, ketchup, onions and peppers? Ed.
Sloppy Joe Biden.
It is right, Sloppy Joe and Joe Biden. Next clue, next picture. In which 1996 film comedy does Eddie Murphy play scientist Sherman Klump? Ed.
The Nutty Professor Chris Whitty.
It is right. Well played, Ed. Point to you. Next question, next picture. Which hit for Ray Charles won Best Rhythm and Blues Recording at the 1961 Grammys?
Oh, I know. OK,
Dara.
Hit the Road, Jackie Weaver.
Hit the Road, Jackie Weaver.
Got it.
Hit the Road, Jack, and Jackie Weaver. Hit the Road, Jackie Weaver. Well played, Dara. Next category. Fitness equipment. Those will be the pictures. There'll be clues above. Which actor played Phoebe Buffay in Friends? Ed.
Lisa Could Rowing Machine.
Well played, Ed. Lisa Kudrow and a rowing machine. Lisa Kudrow machine. Next clue, next picture. Which 2016 single dedicated to an old flame was the 4th UK #1 for Little Mix? Yes, Ed.
Shout out to my exercise bike.
Shout out to my exercise bike? It is. Shout out to my an exercise bike. Well played, Ed.
Ed is so good at this.
He's very good, isn't he? That's really impressive. Next question, next picture. In which sitcom did Nicholas Lyndhurst play a man who could time travel between modern times and the 1940s? Yes, Ed.
Good Night, Sweetheart Rate Monitor.
Good Night, Sweet Heart Rate Monitor.
Okay.
Is right. Well done. Good Night, Sweetheart. Heart Rate Monitor. Who's going to win today?
Still all to play for.
Is all to play for. Fingers on buzzers, everyone. Don't forget, point off for an incorrect answer. Next category. We are done. We are done. What a close show
Just
that
the most
was. Right up
tense
to when
moment as well.
Ed got every single question.
It's
Very
very
impressive, wasn't it?
satisfying when he gets it right. You're like, that's right.
You're playing this game so wrong, Sindhu.
Ed was in the joint lead going into that final round. Who has won today's House of Games? Feels like we need a drum roll. The winner of House of Games night this evening is... Ed Gamble. Well played, Ed. 11 points. What a win. So close all the way through, and then just went through the gears there.
Yeah.
Ed, you've won yourself a prize. What would
Very
you like to
excited.
take home with you here?
You know what? The most practical for me, I think, the kimono is so sexy.
I really wondered what word you were going to use. But listen, sexy, sure.
I'm gonna go with. Is it a kimono dressing gown?
Yeah, dressing gown, kimono. So you're going to take home the House of Games?
nightwear, yes.
Dressing gown, nightwear,
Yes.
lovely. Ed Gamble wins the House of Games. Dressing gown / kimono. Well done, Ed. We're together for 3 weeks. 3 weeks of quizzing to do. Let's take a look at our leaderboard. We'll take these points
Maybe
through
let's
to
not
next
take
week.
a look at the leaderboard.
Sindhu, a strong 4th. Champions League
Very
placing
strong
for you.
fourth.
Dara, you have 2. Sian, 3. Ed, 4. David, thank you so much. Band, thank you so much. You're going to play us out. I look forward to that ever so much. Thank you, everyone. See you here same time, same place next week. We'll see you as well, same time, same place next week on the House of Games.
You're right, Dara. There was
It
no
just
way you would
grazes
have
the
won.
genitals, doesn't it? It
This
just
is-
hovers at the genital height.